I'm almost. Sorry, what were you saying? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Learning and Unlearning. Just joking. This episode is about my phone. So I was pretending to scroll. If you were listening and you weren't watching on YouTube, that's what I was doing. Thank you for returning to the show after my vacation. It was really important for me to take a break and use my regular full-time job work vacation to really rest and stop doing the podcast as well. And I'm really glad I did. It took the pressure off me for a couple Fridays, and now I am back. So I don't know if you've heard of Jay Shetty. He's an author, and I think he has a podcast. His book is called Think Like a Monk, and he is a former monk, and now he's more like a life purpose coach. I heard him interviewed by Ashley Graham, and he was really cool, and I liked what he said about cell phones. So what it was is something like you would never let someone into your bedroom right when you woke up. And so why are you turning on your phone and looking through social media or doing something on your phone right when you wake up? It's kind of like someone is interrupting that private time. You wouldn't say, "Hey, come on in," when some stranger is going to come in your bedroom and you're in your bed or in your pajamas or whatever. So why do you let your feed be the first thing you see? If somebody had knocked on your door, you probably wouldn't have invited them in, right? You would get dressed and you wouldn't want to feel embarrassed. So you would get ready to see your acquaintances. We don't all go out of the house looking the way we look when we wake up from bed. You know what else scrolling through your phone in the morning does, or at any time of day? It sort of sets your mood. But if you look at it in the morning, you're setting your mood for the whole day. Whatever you do in the beginning of the day can make your brain think a certain way. You know, when people say you got up on the wrong side of the bed. So if you get up on the wrong side of the bed, per se, through looking at your social media feed and you have a negative emotion, it's going to set you off for the rest of the day, perhaps. It's highly likely that you won't even realize that that's what happened, and then your mood will be affected for the rest of the day. And not until something negative happens, like if you become impatient with someone and you catch yourself, if you're self-aware, not until then will you realize what mood you're in or what might have set you off. Sometimes we're in a bad mood and we don't even know why. So think about how your phone might influence that mood in the beginning of the day. Because social media is meant to be a great thing. It connects people, it helps you see beautiful visual art or dream about traveling. I mean, that's kind of the things that I look at are art and travel. But nevertheless, whatever you're looking at, there can still be issues that come up. You might feel comparison, you might feel guilty, you might see someone's post and think that they're doing better than you, or you might say, I wish I looked like that, or oh, I'm thinking about this exercise challenge that people are doing and I can't do that. I wish I could do that. I'll never be able to do that. Whatever you think in a split second can really set you off for the day. I think we've all heard what social media can do to our brains, or if we haven't heard, you just figured it out. And people are talking about it. It's not just something that's done in studies, though it is done through studies too. You can see when you get likes or you get comments on your pictures, dopamine is released in your brain because it's like a quick, happy moment that your brain is like, ooh, I want more of that. Social media can be really distracting too. It can be a time sucker, a time robber, where you end up scrolling and you don't realize how much time has gone by. And I don't know anyone who has a limit on their phone where it lets them know you've been on here for this many minutes while they're on that. I think there's a special app for that. We've all heard about how looking at other people and their edited pictures can make us feel like we are less than, even though a lot of the people who you're looking at don't look like that either. It sets unrealistic expectations about what we should look like. No one should look like anything. except the way they look when they're healthy. If you look at social media before bed, we know that the blue light that comes from your phones can keep you awake longer, or what you saw might have been disturbing or just made you think about something really important. And right before bed, that's very distracting. And so it can put off sleep and make people decrease the hours of sleep they can get because they still have to get up at a certain time. One really interesting part about social media that is not good, but something that I would have never thought of, is that it can make you spend money, which I understand because there are, first of all, there are sponsored ads trying to get you to buy things. Then there are influencers who are also sponsored and they create their own ads and tell you how much they love things or how much they're obsessed with a totally basic Amazon dress. And I know that there are things people have bought on TikTok that are actually amazing and they're great finds because somebody decided to make a TikTok and finally tell someone about it. So, good for you if you get a great TikTok find. But otherwise, you might be spending money that you don't normally spend or you wouldn't go shopping. When you go on social media, you're actually shopping without the intention to shop. You really just want to look or be inspired or connect or even disconnect from reality and just have a break and mindlessly scroll through, which maybe that is cathartic for you in some way, and that's okay. But you don't intend to go shopping usually. And yet, there you are being influenced with ads and people to buy something. On a personal note, I want to tell you that I do use my phone as an alarm clock and I look at my phone before bed. There's something that I do before bed. I go on Instagram and I look at the pretty things that I like to look at. And that's sort of a nice way to decompress and do something in bed before it's totally time to go to sleep. When I wake up, if I wake up on the weekend and I don't have anywhere to be, I will lay in bed and I'll be scrolling. Or if it's 8 o'clock, I will play this one game that I play. Otherwise, I pretty much hate phone games. But when I'm going to work, I don't scroll on my phone. I don't have time for that. I don't make time for that. So I'm focusing on nighttime, but it's going to benefit me in all ways. Starting Monday, March 8th, for one whole week, I am going to not look at my phone before bed and when I wake up. So, like I said, it will be very different for me to do something else before bed. But when I wake up, it will depend on the day as to if I were to reach for my phone to do that habit. I'm inviting you to join me on this no phone in bed week, March 8th. As soon as you wake up, you're not doing it anymore. And then March 15th, which is 1 week later, on the same day of the week, a Monday, when you wake up, it's over. Would you like to join me? Let me know. And what will be important here is to pay attention to how you feel or how you sleep, anything that you notice about your mood throughout the day, because you might be using a different way to wake up and you might be doing something better for yourself when you wake up. So plan it out in advance. Don't just say, sure, I'll do that, and then not actively think about how you're going to conduct yourself. So before bed, what am I going to do? I'm going to set my alarms. I will plug my phone in across the room, so I have to get out of bed to turn it off. I'm not going to succumb to plugging it in next to my bed, reaching for it from bed, turning the alarm off, and then seeing the notifications that I got overnight. That would be a temptation for me to start scrolling if I'm still laying there, and that's not allowed. So that's why I'm going to put my phone across the room in a different outlet. I will get up and get it, and I will be awake. At night, I am going to read. I love reading books, and there are some books that I have started and I'd like to finish. So I'm going to read in bed. Then I will probably journal a little bit to see if I feel more relaxed in bed. I suspect that looking at my phone, even though I'm looking at pretty images usually through my own like curated feed, I will still probably feel stressed. And so reading a book is more of a de stressor. It will relax my mind, it will let me escape into a story. And then I will be thinking about the book when I go to bed, and my eyes will not have just been exposed to blue lights. When I journal, I will think about my sleep, my mood, and just what it feels like in general to do this no phone in bed week, March 8th to March 15th. What do you think? Are you in? All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you do this challenge with me, or at least think about decreasing your phone use for your own mental health. Much love, Sam.